coming to your city. Gonna play our guitars and sing you a country song. We'll all be flying higher than a jetliner. And if you want a little bang in your yin yang, come along.
Well, come on along and welcome aboard to Indiana Sports Beat. Of course, coming to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios on this Friday. We've made it to the end of the week. I don't know where that was coming from. This Friday, July 17th, but welcome aboard. A lot to get to talk about today. The Cancun Challenge moved from Cancun to Melbourne, Florida, which that kind of cracks me up. I don't care what you're moving. You're moving anything to Florida?
To Florida, yeah.
That's like the jumping out of from the frying pan into the fire, I guess, so to speak. I mean, Florida is a hot spot. I don't get that, I guess. I mean, I guess traveling is, I don't know. I don't see why moving. Is Cancun an epicenter? I mean, if their numbers are not going up like crazy like Florida, why the hell would you leave?
Yeah, I mean, Mexico in general, I guess, probably is not a place they want to go right now. I mean, I don't know. I don't really see how any place is where they would want to go.
Yeah, that's you got to pick the best of the least poisons, I guess, is how to do that. But that's going to happen. Purdue was involved in that. I don't know what other teams were in that. I know Purdue was in that. I happened to see that. But the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, are they potentially heading towards a divorce? They have not reached an agreement through 2021 right now. So Cowboy fans, I don't know if they're a little nervous or not. I'm not a Cowboy fan, so I couldn't care less.
I couldn't either, but I mean, I think Dak Prescott, I've always liked him. I've enjoyed watching him play. I think he's a solid quarterback. I think he's lost his mind for valuing himself at what he thinks he's worth. So I don't feel sorry for him a bit. I hope he ends up in another situation where nobody signs him.
British scientists seem to be making some headway in the war against COVID-19. I saw some good news that seemed to be coming out of a potential vaccine that they're working on. That also it provides
out of where?
Great Britain. Our friends over in England, jolly old England. So let's hope that that's true. Del Mar Racetrack in Southern California closes after 15 jockeys and 7 others test positive for COVID-19. Del Mar's not a gigantic track, but a pretty decent, well-known track in Southern Indiana or Southern California, I think near San Diego, I believe. But it's easy how to see that stuff can spread through a locker room, man, especially in an environment like horses are out there. It's just so good thing the horses didn't get it.
I mean, it's every day we're hearing something about a different sports venue or sports arena or the NASCAR events, and we're hearing somebody getting it just from being at the event. So it's just I'm so scared they're going to cancel football.
I've been scared of that, not football. I'm no longer scared of football. I am becoming increasingly scared of high school sports not happening because I'm selfish. I have a daughter who's a senior, and I want her to get that opportunity, just like every other parent who has a kid that's a senior. That had every parent that was a kid who was a senior last spring. I mean, it's that. I just hope that happens. Is it the biggest thing in the world when it comes down to it? No, but man, I can tell you right now, it's still to this day a part of my life. That senior year, my last year of getting to compete, getting to do that stuff. Those are memories. When they say memories of a lifetime, they are. And I would hate to see a big chunk of that taken away from these kids. That's a big thing. So let's hope that doesn't happen, and hope that if people will start doing what they're supposed to do, wear your damn mask, people. Do the things we need to do. I mean, there's a reason the U.S. is having the problems we are. We got too many people, too many cooks in the kitchen.
Well, and you know, now we're starting to be able to see in advance. I mean, last spring, all the sports in high school that just got canceled. I mean, just absolutely canceled. I mean, we know basketball stopped. right at the end of the year. It was even the year was over for some teams, but there was all the spring sports just didn't happen at all. And it was a tragic thing for those kids. I mean, we all thought about it and talked about it, but now we're both living it. I mean, we both have kids that are going to be seniors, and to be sitting in limbo and not knowing whether they're going to have a season or not is excruciatingly painful.
Well, then you got the fact that these sports, these kids, these coaches, you have to prepare for a fall season. And I know, like with my daughter, that they've started, but then they've stopped. I don't know where they are right now. It's very worrisome. There's no doubt it's worrisome. And the people that don't take this serious, it may not get you, but it's affecting people. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it's just affecting people. There's no way that you can't look around you and not see that. So let's hope that people can come together and start wearing the mask and doing the things that we need to do. But Washington has bigger fish to fry now than a name change. I saw yesterday 15 women have now come forward alleging sexual harassment and verbal abuse from scouts, people in the Daniel Snyder's inner circle. It's just Daniel Snyder is just I guarantee the NFL would love to see nothing more than Daniel Snyder jettisoned from the league. He is persona non grata.
Yep. There's nothing positive coming out of Washington right now in the White House or in the sports arenas. There's nothing positive coming out of there.
And that's the people there. I think they're done with Dan Snyder, man. I mean, I think the country's done with Daniel Snyder. He's just been one of those owners. It's kind of like the guy that owns the Knicks. I forget his name because his name's not worth remembering, but James Dolan. What a moron. Sometimes they're morons. They're just people that have money. You don't think the people that have money aren't morons? Tons of them out there. And there's tons of them that have lots of money.
Yeah, so, I mean, the entitlement that comes with that money sometimes just makes people make some really poor decisions.
A-Rod's in a group trying to buy the New York Mets. Speaking of New York, along with J-Lo, I forget who. I saw some other people in that group. There was like six celebrities in that. So J-Lo told A-Rod, I want the Mets.
Why would they?
I want the Mets.
Why would they buy the Mets?
She's from Brooklyn. Jenny from the block, man. She's from Brooklyn.
Oh,
Brooklyn girl, who doesn't? Every one of those people that grew up in Brooklyn that made it big. Every one of them know you want the Mets. Would love to own the Mets. Jerry Seinfeld, big Mets fan. All those people that grew up in that area, man. There's tons of them, but that would be.
It doesn't matter. They could win 10 World Series in a row, and they're never going to trump the Yankees. So why would you want to buy the team that's always going to be the stepchild? It'd be like buying Purdue.
That's a big difference. Sometimes that stepchild can do professionally; they can do more. But yeah, they're never going to eclipse the Yankees. But.
I mean, they're never going to eclipse the Yankees. Why would you want to buy the second best?
It's
team?
9 million people in that city. There's plenty to go around. Plenty to go around. Obviously, but man, they haven't done anything for a while, but they got a great fan base. It's just one of those, the Mets is kind of like the Cubs. They got that old big town, old school fan base from the way back of a lot of years of losing built in. When you got a fan base that's built on losing, you got a solid fan base.
Yeah, I think your first comment was probably more accurate in that there's just 9 million people there, so they've got to root for somebody, and half of them just don't want to root for the Yankees. So they default into the Mets because I don't see – I'm not a big baseball fan, so I'm obviously saying this without a ton of knowledge to back it up, but there's just nothing exciting about the Mets.
Oh, man, here come the Mets. Well, I wish I knew that song. There was a song, Here Come the Mets. They used to play.
I'm glad you don't remember.
Oh, I wish I did. Let's see. There's some golfing event going on now. What's going on in the golf world?
It's just a little event over in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh yeah, there is the Memorial this weekend. I remember they were there last weekend, so they're at the Memorial this weekend. When did Bryson DeChambeau hit that 400,000 foot drive he hit? Was that yesterday?
He hit a couple 400-yard ones yesterday. He didn't play very well, but he hit some long drives.
That's
Tigers
almost
birdies.
impossible.
Yeah.
423 yards. People,
Yep.
multiply by that by 3. That's how many feet that is.
Tigers in the top 10 already. So
He's hitting
that
well.
going for us.
He's hitting well for his age.
Yeah,
Did I
for his
mention-
age.
Did I say this yesterday? The comments,
Yeah,
Bryson
you played that.
DeChambeau?
Yeah.
Couldn't remember.
Yep.
He hit it well. He hit like 320. That's good for his age.
He's playing really good for an old man.
Back in his day, he was the stuff. I'm like, man, it's Tiger Woods you're talking about here.
I
'cause you
hate to tell you, Bryson, but he's still the stuff.
Yeah, just because you can hit the ball a mile, you got to put the trophies on the shelf.
I think Bryson has now won 2 tournaments, and Tiger has won 82. So, I mean, he's got a ways to go.
Is DeChambeau liked on the tour?
You know,
Seems to be
He's
like
not
kind of a
disliked.
lightning rod.
he's not disliked from his personality. He's disliked a little bit because he plays so slow, partially because he's got so many different calculations and books and things he goes through in every the routine of his shot. So I think people get a little irritated with him with how slow he plays, but I don't think it's his personality. I mean, he's known as the mad scientist. I mean, he's always tinkering with something weird. I mean, he's the guy that plays all of his irons are the same length. So his 3-iron all the way through his sand wedge are all the same length as a 6-iron.
Why would you do that?
He studied it. He's the mad scientist. I'm telling you, he's a genius. And
I don't disagree.
Mathematically, he's a genius.
Because there's been times I wish, say, my sand wedge was longer. You try to, can I get this higher? Is there any way to get this ball higher in the air? More swing. I'd like to be able to make my own decision instead of the club making the decision.
As successful as he has been in a short couple of years on tour, I'm surprised it hasn't caught on more than it has. But
people are waiting for him. They're waiting for him to succeed first because
he's been in the top 10 8 consecutive tournaments. And
I'm not doubting him. I know he can. What has he given a reason why the club links are the same size?
He gave it when he first came out. He did this back in college. He won the NCAA championship, and that's when it first came out. And he talked. So he had this way before he turned pro. He was doing this back in college. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I get the philosophy. It's almost one of those things. If you had a favorite club, so like my favorite club is my 8-iron. So if all my clubs were the length of my 8-iron, I guess I would understand it a little bit better. I don't like my 6-iron, so it seems kind of hokey to me. I don't know.
He can do it.
Yep, he's doing it.
The group I talked about involved in trying to buy the Mets with J-Rod, J-Lo.
J-Rod is exactly right.
J-Rod is right. Is Mr. Kraft from New England. They flew to New England and met with the Crafts.
Yeah, that's just what he needs is get involved in something else.
He reportedly has no interest in joining their bid. He apparently advised them on what they could do to monetize the area around Citi Field. So
sweet.
I guess they just got some very expensive advice.
They've got more money than they know what to do with. Sounds
all these people have money like I have socks or T-shirts. It's nothing to. It's just like, yeah. For every T-shirt I have is $1 million that they have. I wish I could walk in.
Pat Graham coming on here.
That's right. We've got to get going. Can't make him late. We got to take a quick break. Listen to Indiana Sports Beat. We're coming to you from the Golf Club Eagle Point Studios on this Friday, July 17th. Make sure you're wearing a mask if you're going someplace public. Otherwise, wait for Pat Graham to come up next, and he'll tell you about it too. We're listening to Indiana Sports Beat coming to you from Golf Club Eagle Point Studios. Back right after this. Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, Located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway, Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs, Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
I'm Rain Shaddy, and I'm a Hoosier. As a toddler, you could always find me running around in a cream and crimson onesie and a red IU hat reminiscent of those worn during the world-famous William Tell timeout, shouting, "Go Hoosiers!" Like many other alum, I chose to make Bloomington my home. As a civic and alumni leader, I have become very knowledgeable about our community and would love to share my insights with you as your realtor. Find me on Facebook or call or text me, Ryan Shaddy, with FC Tucker Bloomington Realtors at 765-623-9093.
Now that warm weather has arrived, it's time to hit the links, and there's no better place than the Golf Club at Eagle Point in Bloomington. Voted best golf course by the readers of the Bloomington Herald-Times, the Golf Club at Eagle Point is under new ownership, has new fairways and bunkers, and it's open to the public. When the round's over, there's cold beer and a full menu at the Eagle Point Pub and Bistro. Call 812-824-1100 to make a tee time. That's 812-824-1100. The Golf Club at Eagle Point in Bloomington. This is Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat with Coyle and Leary. Indiana Sports Beat is now a part of the Rivals Network. You can go to thehoosier.com to sign up. It's free. Catch the show there each day live or at your convenience. You can also like or follow us on Facebook, follow the show's rebroadcast anywhere you podcast. If we're not on a radio station where you live, we should be. Let your local station know they need to carry Indiana Sports Beat with Coyle and Leary, or simply go to thehoosier.com.
Some of the best sounds you'll ever hear are generic, safe, effective, even money-saving, just like FDA-approved generic drugs. Even if they don't come in the exact same color or shape as their brand name equivalents, they have the same key ingredients and go through a rigorous review process. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today and visit fda.gov/generic drugs. Generics are safe, effective, and can save you money. You'll like the sound of that.
This is former Indiana basketball player Brian Evans, and you're listening to Indiana Sports Beat with Jim Coyle.
Today's guest is brought to you by Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sellersburg. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you'll get with Reynolds Family Dentistry. Well, get up now because you're listening to Indiana Sports Beat, coming to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios on this Friday, July 17th. Couldn't be happier now to welcome in one of my favorites, Pat Graham, joining us. Patrick, how are you, sir?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. Last time I talked to you, you were being nursed back to health.
Yeah, cardiac rehab. That was a joy.
How's everything going, bro? But you were working hard and getting through all that stuff. You were exercising and getting out and doing all the stuff you needed to do. And how's all that been going?
I got, I guess the word's cleared. When I went through all that stuff late March, that's right when the COVID thing started. And down here in Evansville, schools, I guess, probably throughout the state had shut down on the 13th. So when I was in the hospital, the COVID thing had really kicked on. So, when I got done and everything, the exercise started. So I've been pretty religious. Well, I haven't been pretty. I've been very religious on that, and trying to eat a little bit better. So the chicken wings have been put back to the fore back, and I've been living a little healthier. Let's just say.
I was going to ask about the wings. That was my one question that I've been thinking. I'm like, well, I'm sure he's probably back on those by now.
Your body will go into shock if you stop feeding it wings, Pat.
someone asked me this question the other day, and the answer was comical. I can't believe I know this answer, but I've ate 18 wings since April 1st. 6 one time, 6 one time, 6 one time. I'm not the smartest guy, but that's 18.
Well, we generally keep count because you generally post that and your dogs and your turtles and crap on Twitter. So we generally keep track of your wing count.
If you're interested, there's a sign at Pat's Yard down in Evansville that, like McDonald's has over 1 billion served. His has over 1 billion consumed.
Consumed wings, no doubt. It's probably up there in the thousands for sure. Tens of thousands.
I don't know if the diabetes got me or the wings did, but one of them probably had to do the most to do with it. But yeah, I've got away from them. It's been that's kind of been it's been like Wing Anonymous instead of Alcohol Anonymous. So
what is with Pace? What is going on? I know he's going to be a junior in high school. What has been going on in the summertime for him basketball wise? Has he done any AAU or anything?
Well, that's the weird thing about this whole thing. The AAU obviously got started, and he is not doing that this summer. It's just been trying to get workouts in, and it kind of makes you feel good when you see kids around where we live and see kids out working out in the driveway, which that never happened. I know we used to do some of that stuff, but we probably had ways to get in the gym a little easier than most. And so, but you see kids working out, you see kids running, you see kids biking, you see kids doing all these different exercises that they probably never even thought about. But, we started workouts last week and Tuesday, Thursday, and this week, Tuesday, Thursday, and we run into a little mishap and missed this past Thursday, which I guess was last night. And because we had a little scare down here at the high school that I work at. But I think everybody's going through it. I mean, with football starting and basketball workouts starting up, and then you got kids coming back from Florida, and you got graduation parties, and with all this, bingo, there's these pop-ups with this COVID that happens, and it's a big scare to everybody. Evansville was kind of weird because Evansville was in a bubble for the longest time. I mean, our numbers were so ridiculously low where I was looking at New Albany area where I'm from and Indy area where you guys are, and it was unbelievable the numbers that these places had that Evansville didn't have. They were late to the party, which, was a good thing, but, people in Evansville thought this was never going to hit us, and then sure enough, about 2 weeks ago it started. And, yeah, it's been different. It's been different. It's like Evansville people were like, well, why aren't we working out? It's not hit here yet. I'm like, just wait. And, 3 weeks ago, I knew probably 25 people in Indy that has had it or had it. I knew probably 20 people over near where I grew up that had it. And I didn't know one soul, one person in Evansville that had it. And that was 2 to 3 weeks ago. Now I probably know 40 people that have had it. So it's just, it's blown up down here. And we're kind of backpedaling a little bit, but, it's here to stay. It's not like it's going to go anywhere tomorrow. And you just got to deal with it.
Well, and also, we talk about this. I mean, you're a great athlete. We're a great athlete as well, but you're 50 years old now, and you've got diabetes. This thing is scary for people that otherwise are just completely walking around normal. But this thing is I'm 55. I mean, I'm in that group. It's trust me, it's in the back of my mind.
He's 50. He's had diabetes since he was 11, and he had a heart attack 3 months ago. So I would say he's in the high risk category.
Yeah, I hadn't even gotten to the heart attack yet. So I know it's got to be a scary thing for you, seriously though, to make sure, because then it's a serious deal.
Well, and I don't want to, I'll probably offend somebody by saying this. I don't want to put myself on a place where, I'm so scared. The thing, it's like the doctors have told me, if you're a healthy, I've never had any complications from diabetes. I laugh at that. I had a heart attack, but eyesight and I still got all my fingers and toes, and I've never really had any issues due to diabetes. I've always taken pretty good care of myself. My numbers have always been pretty good. I've always had beyond great doctors, and so it's it's one of those things where if I would get it, and I was tested last week and it was negative, but I'd never had. It was just almost one of those, I want to know. And I know some people are asymptomatic, and I knew a guy who had got it, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to test, and I tested, I was negative. But they've said, yes, I have some complications, but on the flip side, it's not like, you're an unhealthy diabetic, or, you don't take care of yourself after the heart attack. And so I kind of feel comfortable there. My parents are who I worry about. I hate to say that, but I worry about somebody like that a heck of a lot more than I do myself. I just don't comprehend, and I know there's all walks of life in this world, but the person says, the government's not going to tell me to wear a mask. And I'm thinking, it's a freaking mask. Like, what's the big deal?
Right.
I still go to the grocery store. I still go to Walmart. I still, I'm out. I just do what I'm supposed to do, and you try to stay away from other people as best you can, but you can't, you can't lock yourself in a bathroom and say, I'll see you in 2 years. So that's how I've kind of dealt with it. But yeah, the people are just, you on Twitter, and you see these, I guess I call them Karens or whatever, and screaming and yelling, and no one's going to tell me what to do. And it's just like, man, I don't get those types of people, but hey, everyone's got a voice now, and you got to respect everyone and all that stuff. And I just kind of smile and go my other way, because I just can't comprehend how simple it is to 6 feet away and keep a mask on. It's not that hard.
Before I forget, text into the show from Jennifer down in Evansville saying happy birthday to the Big Ten's all-time leading scorer, Calbert Cheney, your former teammate, got a birthday today. So you boys better call in and wish him a happy birthday.
And Pat's birthday was just last week. Pat just turned 50. Or earlier this week, wasn't it?
Sunday.
Sunday. I missed that. No, I didn't miss it. I remember sending thing out, but it seems like if something's a week ago, it's like a year ago in my mind. I've seen so much information since then. But happy birthday to you as well, Pat. That's awesome. I forgot about that. Just remember seeing that stuff. Because your dad's birthday's on the same day, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, your mom. I remember seeing your mom's post of that. Very, very cool. There's been some big.
Right now, how old I am, he couldn't tell you.
Is that denial of his own age?
No, he just, like I said, if he wouldn't remember my birthday, and he probably wouldn't remember his own birthday if it wasn't for
my dad's the same way. My dad's the same exact way.
Luckily for your family, you have the most beautiful human being in the world in your mother, Carolyn, because she keeps everybody in that family in line.
She does, Dad. And I
No question.
So, yep, I agree.
Hey, a lot. Also, a different note, kind of a somber note, but it was in your area. Former Hoosier Steve Boushey recently passed away down there in Evansville. And I know that he was before your guys' playing time, but just a part of the Indiana history, winning a national championship in '81, Mr. Basketball in '79 from down there in Washington, a great high school basketball area. Man, they may have produced as many Mr. Basketballs as any team in the state, huh? Got all the Zellers, but sad to see that happen. But man, just another member of the IU basketball family we've lost.
We've had Indiana, I guess, is kind of snake bit on that because the Jason Colliers and these guys,
Eric Anderson,
like
Neil Reed.
See, and that's the thing. You forget there's been so many. And
it's weird. It's a weird run. It really is. It's weird.
I was just glad to come out of it on the other side, but
Yeah,
I'm blaming Garl. Let's blame it on Garl or Rink or somebody.
yeah, that's all. I blame it on them, but yeah, Ibushi was a bad deal, and that one was kind of sudden, obviously, and I know they tried to get him, or they got him down here to Evansville, and it went the wrong way. But yeah, IU's had a bad run on that, and obviously there's no right reason for it, but yeah, they've had a bad run on it.
Well, let's hope that we can put an end to that deal there. But on the other side, on basketball side, I was out watching some hoops last week. You mentioned some AAU. I saw Trey Kaufman and Logan Duncombe. And, man, Kaufman has really improved his game. I know you probably haven't seen them this summer, but did you get to see either of those guys play last winter?
No, I saw Kaufman 2 years ago as a sophomore. They actually beat us in regional. And, we had a decent team, and you go into every game thinking you can win. And, halftime of that game, I looked at them. I said, boys, you're playing the state champions. And they were so good. Silver Creek was so good. And he was a man back then, but from what I've been told by Sharon Wilkerson, who coaches over there, near there, those guys said he's just a man among boys, and he's gotten bigger and stronger. And of course, as a sophomore, he was an absolute stud, body-wise. And now it's kind of his offensive game's coming a little bit more rounded. And yeah, I think he's a really nice player, and hopefully he goes to the Cream and Crimson in a couple years or a year.
Well, he's playing on an AAU team with Logan Duncombe, who's already committed to Indiana, so we know he's recruiting him. But, yeah, I got to tell you, he reminds me – I remember when I saw Trace Jackson Davis, the first thing that stood out to me about him was his beef, because most kids coming out of high school, they're skinny, and he was not. And neither is Trey Kaufman. This dude is built. He's got a ready-made college body already, and he has gotten stronger. Saw him last weekend. He's really been working on his defense, working on inside games, shooting. He's becoming a complete player. I mean, he can really, really be something special at 6'8", and with the abilities that he has. Yeah, it would be great to see him come into the Indiana fold. And I got to be honest with you, I cannot imagine him not going to Indiana, but you never know. But I think that he is going to end up there, and Indiana is going to have a great, great roster to build from.
I call them Sullinger bodies. I know you guys remember the Sullinger kid at Ohio State.
Jared Sullinger.
2 years ago. And, IU people would remember Daryl Thomas. I remember seeing Daryl Thomas right out of high school, and I think Todd was on that team. We played some all-star team, played some, Alford and those guys, and Daryl Thomas, and I'd never seen a body like that, and butt was as wide, twice as wide as mine, and his legs, and I'm thinking, my God, he's a bowling pin, but he's 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", and that's the first person I ever saw with a body like that. Sullinger was as close to it, probably a little bit taller, even a little bit bigger. And that's what those bodies remind you of. And you're exactly right. Those two players are very similar in Trace Jackson and Kaufman. So, yeah, he'd be a nice get for us.
It's funny because he physically looks like, just standing next to him, he physically looks just a great deal like Trace Jackson Davis. We want to compare them. We want to compare them as being similar type players, but they're really not.
No, they're actually
totally
bookends.
Yeah, they play completely different games. So it would be, we're wishing pie in the sky to get Trace Jackson Davis to stay another year and to get Trey Kaufman to commit and go there. But, man, what a fun year that would be to have both those guys on the team in the same year.
Yes, it would. Pat, I got a question in from the text line from Tim. Did you enjoy crossing the river to play Kentucky high schools teams when you were at Floyd Central?
We loved it. Couple things. Funny story about that. In Indiana, of course, Leary come up at Lawrence North probably didn't follow this rule, but you couldn't
Do they follow any rules?
Warm-ups. No, exactly. And but in warm-ups, you could not dunk, and in Kentucky you could. And that was always, I remember being a freshman, that was always kind of a weird thing. But, we played Sanex and Trinity and Oldham County, and Ballard was always a big one with Allen Houston. We played, I think my senior year, I think we played 7 teams over there. And played Moore and Eastern, where Felton Spencer went. And it was always, it was a different type of game. The referees over there, I'm not questioning their referees. I'm just saying it was a different type of game, and it was refereed a little different way. So it was good for us to go over there and play different teams and better teams, and so I always enjoyed playing over there. And I don't think teams do that as much as they once did.
Well, two things with that, Pat. Is first of all, I will say the reason I didn't dunk in warm-ups was specifically because I was respecting that rule. And so I just always, I carried that on throughout my entire life. And I didn't dunk in warm-ups just because Indiana had that rule. So that's first and foremost. But secondly, when you went over there and played the schools like Trinity and all that, did you back that up on the second game of the weekend with like Mitchell or Paoli or any of those big schools?
We normally, that conference I played in wasn't all that shabby.
Oh, come on. Here we go. I deal with this every week.
When I was at Floyd Central, we weren't overly scared to play anybody. Of course, the teams I had at Floyd Central, we were pretty decent. So, we didn't have to pad our schedules any stretch of the imagination. But, I mean, we would have played the Indiana Pacers back then if we had a 7-footer like that. 7-footer, or a couple of them.
Hey, blame Joe Hinton. He didn't recruit well enough.
I get on him about that.
Well, man, we need to get you out on the golf course. I know that's not your fishing is your bigger deal, but need to get you up here someday just for a relaxing 9 holes of golf, and we can have a wing a hole one day. How about that?
I would do that if we were fishing, but
you should come up and play the new golf course, Pat, because I know we spent years having to play that old course, and you should reward yourself at least once with coming up and playing this course, because it's really nice.
You say you guys talk about a relaxing 9. I don't. Down here in Evansville, I get asked all the time to golf, and of course I was manic about it at one time, but it would be a tough decision to go through another calf surgery or go golf.
You're an idiot.
Patrick, I cannot thank you enough for taking the time to join us, man. I'm glad that everything's going well. Happy birthday again. Please tell the family hello. I hope Brandy's doing well. And I hope you're having a great summer, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Anytime.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate the great Pat Graham joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat as we come to you from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios on this Friday. When we come back, going to hear from Trey Kaufman and Logan Duncombe. One Indiana commitment and a top target. We're back with more from the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios right after this.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
I'm Rain Shaddy, and I'm a Hoosier. As a toddler, you could always find me running around in a cream and crimson onesie and a red IU hat reminiscent of those worn during the world-famous William Tell timeout, shouting, "Go Hoosiers!" Like many other alum, I chose to make Bloomington my home. As a civic and alumni leader, I have become very knowledgeable about our community and would love to share my insights with you as your realtor. Find me on Facebook or call or text me, Ryan Shaddy, with FC Tucker Bloomington Realtors at 765-623-9093.
Now that warm weather has arrived, it's time to hit the links, and there's no better place than the golf club at Eagle Point in Bloomington. Voted best golf course by the readers of the Bloomington Herald-Times, the golf club at Eagle Point is under new ownership, has new fairways and bunkers, and it's open to the public. When the round's over, there's cold beer and a full menu at the Eagle Point Pub and Bistro. Call 812-824-1100 to make a tee time. That's 812-824-1100. The golf club at Eagle Point in Bloomington. This is Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat with Coyle and Leary. Indiana Sports Beat is now a part of the Rivals Network. You can go to thehoosier.com to sign up. It's free. Catch the show there each day live or at your convenience. You can also like or follow us on Facebook, follow the show's rebroadcast anywhere you podcast. If we're not on a radio station where you live, we should be. Let your local station know they need to carry Indiana Sports Beat with Coyle and Leary, or simply go to thehoosier.com.
Some of the best sounds you'll ever hear are generic, safe, effective, even money-saving, just like FDA-approved generic drugs. Even if they don't come in the exact same color or shape as their brand name equivalents, they have the same key ingredients and go through a rigorous review process. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today and visit fda.gov/generic drugs. Generics are safe, effective, and can save you money. You'll like the sound of that.
Hey, this is Jordan Halls, former Indiana Hoosier. Keep up with Indiana sports on Indiana Sports Beat.
Welcome back to the Golf Club at Eagle Point Studios. Indiana Sports Beat here. Jim Coyle, Todd Leary on this Friday, July 17. Pat Graham just joined us. Great to hear from him. Glad that he's doing well. Had an opportunity to talk with a couple of people that Indiana fans are very interested in as Archie Miller is trying to put together his fourth roster. Right now, Logan Duncombe has committed to the Hoosiers. His AAU teammate Trey Kaufman is next on the list and Indiana's number one target. I had an opportunity to talk to him and see what's going on with his recruiting. Let's hear what Trey had to say.
Trey, how you doing, man? Anything new this summer besides just trying to get back into the groove? No, that's really what it is. Get back, having fun, playing my teammates, get back to it. What's it been like, this weird situation that we've all been through, but you guys, you've had just everything interrupted and tried to get back into that groove. What's that been like? It's been challenging. Definitely been challenging. I'm used to, especially with our school team, playing it all the way out. So, it's been hard just to get back in shape, getting back with everything. But, I think, team's done a good job. I think I've done a good job, so we're good. And recruiting-wise, very, very unique situation where most guys can't get to campus, coaches can't get out now. I know you're in contact with coaches and all that. But what's it been like, the recruiting side of not being able to make these visits and to see these schools? It's been hard, especially for schools that, didn't get to see me during the season. So, it's been hard for those schools. Some of them have found my number, contacted me. But other schools, the ones that have, already been recruiting me, it's pretty easy. FaceTime, we have all this technology now. So, it's been different, but another experience. Anything new in recruiting for you? I guess it depends on what you guys know. I'm not sure, how much everybody knows, but try us out and test us and see if I know that or not. Yeah. Anything with Indiana, I know that they're very, very heavy on you, and that continues to be the case. How's that going? It's going great, especially with Coach Miller, developing a better relationship with them. It's been really good. What's it like to try to further develop a relationship with the coach in this situation? You can't see him physically. It's only by phone or FaceTime. You're right. It's hard. I'm a real person, so although phone and texting is one thing, I think face-to-face contact is really how you build a relationship. So it's been hard. We just kind of have to go with your instincts and if you're watching you play out here, you seem like you've been trying to work on every aspect of your game because it seems like you're starting to complete everything. Right.
You can't read a fucking text?
Play Indiana State, so he's told me how hard college is and how much big of a step it is. So I just want to make sure I'm ready and whatever team I go to, I can compete and hopefully get a spot. Thank you, Trey.
Yeah. I guess there we go. I guess that was the end of it there. I don't have any direction there. Don't know what's going on. That was Trey Kaufman for you. Spoke to him as he was preparing for an AAU event. And as you can tell, he seems pretty relaxed. He's got to go. He's in charge of his man. He's in charge of what he's doing. He's a
smart kid. Boy, you can just tell he's polished and he he knows his plan. He's got a plan on how he wants the recruiting to go, and he's kind of in charge of it. And you got to love that aspect of a kid. Just him understanding the difficulties, and I love the fact he says the face-to-face interviews or interactions are the best way to really get to know people. And I mean, he's thought this through, and he just sounds like a smart kid.
I also had the opportunity to talk to Logan Duncombe, an IU commit that Trey Kaufman is playing AAU with on the Indiana Elite program. I watched them, and I'm sure this is standard. Last week in the tournament I was watching, the first games they were playing, they might as well be playing against me and a ragtag of Jimmys because they were beating these people by 40 in the first half. I remember the first game I went to, the first half score was like 57-16 at the half. And I'm like, Are you kidding me?
Screaming Elam ending as loud as you can over there.
Oh, man. Hey, Mike DeCourcy's going to be on Monday. Not a fan of the Elam ending for college, which neither am I. But
I'm not either.
Neither am I. But that's something we can look forward to talking to about. But, yeah, it's what the heck were we talking about?
Those games are very difficult to kind of schedule. Although I think the Indiana Elite program and the Pacers Entertainment Center up there, they do a good job of trying to set those guys up with the better games. Here's the difficulty right now, Jim. Those guys generally would not be playing in the same tournaments you and I have gone up and seen them play in. They'd be playing in the national Adidas tournaments, across the country, playing against the best talent in the country. And so, it's all kind of makeshift and they're having to make do. And you're going to see a lot of those 56-15 games at halftime.
It did get better. The last game that I saw of the day that was a 20-point game. It was a game that was actually close before they pulled away, before they exerted themselves. But
right.
It's wow. The talent disparity, those are two very, very good players. And they're not, and I'm not saying they're not trying, but they're not given 1,000% because they don't have to. They're not being pushed hard enough to do that. But just playing they're doing this easily with just playing.
Yeah, and they've got a couple guys on their team that are from out of state. I mean, Logan Duncombe's from Ohio and Cincinnati, and you got Trey Kaufman from Southern Indiana. So they don't get to practice a ton together. And a lot of these game circumstances are kind of their practices, and when they get to try to understand how each other plays, and so that's what the good part is of him spending so much time with Logan Duncombe.
Well, speaking of Logan Duncombe, I also had the opportunity to speak with him as these two are traveling together and playing together this summer, and he is already committed to Indiana. Let's hear what Logan had to say.
You play out here, it looks like you've just been working on everything. Your game is really becoming more and more complete. You're stepping out on top on defense, and for a big man, you're really active down there. Yeah, I mean, over the summer, I knew that some weaknesses I had was playing perimeter defense on guards and my offensive game outside of the three-point line. So over the summer with my coaches and my dad, I've just been working on those things a lot.
You seem like you really like it. I mean, I've seen you step out on the perimeter today a lot, and you're just really active, and you seem like you enjoy playing defense.
I do. It's kind of my thing. That's what I like to do. I like to get up into people, and I don't know. It's just what I like to do.
You're out here playing with Trey Kaufman today, one of the guys that Indiana's recruiting, where you've committed to. What's it like playing with a guy that you surely love to play in college with?
It's fun. We have a good chemistry, and the two of us together, it just makes games easier. There's a bunch of mismatches we have, and there ends up being a lot of cool plays that happen playing with a guy like Trey Kaufman.
And similar to you guys, there's a great improvement. You can see that as you guys both continue to work hard. What's it like helping each other try to get to that next level of what you're trying to accomplish?
Being able to practice with each other and push each other, it helps me a lot because you're playing against another dude who's going to be a high-level Division I player. And that just grows you exponentially. And so instead of growing like slightly, you're going like that.
What have you seen in his game this summer's improvement-wise?
Three-point shooting. Or at least today, he's a sniper. He probably went 6 for 6 from 3.
How are you actively trying to recruit him to come to play college with you at IU?
I definitely mentioned it. I try not to be too pushy about it, let him make his own decision. But I let him know that, hey, you should come over and be a Hoosier.
You guys seem like you just have a lot of fun playing together, though. The friendship is there on the court. The chemistry is there. I know you'd like to see that continue.
Yeah, I'd love if Trey would come over. We're working on it.
How the rest of your summer, what's that looking like? I know it's been a strange year for us all with the COVID-19. But can I ask Trey about getting back into the groove? How hard has that been for you?
It hasn't been too hard. I've been staying in a gym during COVID, so I'm getting work in, but it's weird not being able to go have the team camps with the school teams, being able to travel around the country playing high-level AAU basketball. It's been all right, though. I don't know if school's starting up anytime soon, though.
Being forced to do more individual work, has that actually been a benefit some way in some of the things that you're trying to work on?
Yeah, it helps because sometimes when you're in practice with your high school team, they try to stick you on the post and then you're stuck in there. So being by myself individually, working with my dad and other trainers, I can actually work on my outside game and getting quicker laterals.
Appreciate it, Logan. Have a great summer.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Logan Duncombe talking about his summer, what he's got coming up. Another good kid, smart kid, well-spoken kid. These are all good. That's another thing. Good kids, they get along well. That's going to pay dividends in and of itself. It doesn't mean everybody's always going to get along, but these are good kids. That's a great place to start. They're smart kids. Now, I don't want them too smart because I start thinking about Justin Smith. And by too smart, I mean like out of the stratosphere smart. But because I think that
we don't want them graduating in 3 years smart.
No, I think Justin Smith thought too much. I really do. He has. I'm trying to think what could be going on. Did he think too much? Did he overanalyze things? Because he just seemed to not be going forward all the time. It's like his
motor wasn't going at the same pace we wanted his motor to be going. And so it just always kind of seemed like maybe he was thinking his way through it too much. But, I don't think these guys fall into that category. I think they're smart kids. I think they're smart players. I think they're good people and they like playing together. I watched them. I think I told the story. They're good teammates on the court. They're good to each other. They work well together. Playing AAU is so much better for both of those two guys because you're playing with guys that are kind of similar talent level to what you're going to play with in college. On your high school teams, either the guys on your team are not, Division I level, or for sure the guys you're playing against most of the time are not Division I level. So that's why AAU has become the real recruiting thing. And these guys playing on the same team, it's a super benefit for both of them.
Yeah, and not particularly necessarily for these two guys, but a lot of times when you're come off of a situation and you get to that next group, that next group, everybody there is as talented or more talented than you are.
Right.
And that's kind of a first time that has happened to people. Do you remember the first time it happened to you? I mean, you were always the best kid on the court, probably most of your life, unless
I
was with you.
Well, I was very fortunate to have a 7-footer that was really, really good on my team throughout high school. So that, that always kind of equalized that part of it out. But I mean, from a guard perspective, I was always the best player. And then you go play on the Bloomington Red team with Greg Graham and Pat Graham and, Bailey and all those other guys. And it's a different world. And you realize how much work you've got to do. And there's a lot more to it.
Absolutely. I hope everybody has had a great, great week. I hope you've had a healthy week. I hope you go out and have an absolutely wonderful weekend while you're wearing your mask when you're going out into public.
Please mask up.
Mask up. That's it. Mask up. Let's mask up. I hope you have a great, great fun. We'll be back here on Monday. I'll have Mike DeCourcy with us on Monday. Looking forward to that as he joins us from the Sporting News. But until then, I hope, Todd, you go out and have a great weekend. Jimmy, the same to you. And everybody else, thanks a lot for joining us. Thanks to Pat Graham. Everybody, I'm Jim Coyle. Until Monday, I will see you on the radio.